Answer. Because you are that, you are capable. You are gifted, and you are soon to be opinionated. It's okay to be different, and it's so okay to just be. The world awaits to receive you.
Every election. So now, because they can't beat me, they got to do this smear campaign to convince public opinion that I'm bad for them.
So you said 2 elections. You were first elected in 2021?
No, 2013 was my first election for trustee. I was a trustee. I sat where they are.
Right.
That's why I know the law.
Dolton Council.
Yes.
Elected mayor 2021.
Yes.
Term is 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. Plans of running for re-election?
I'm running for both my seats. And I'm going to win them.
So, and when is the election for Thornton Township?
2025.
So those elections at the same time?
They are.
Bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Okay, next.
Blessings, blessings, and grand risings, Uncensored Enlightenment Talk family. I couldn't wait to go on this morning. It's exactly 10:34 my time. That is telling me that I'm right on God's time. I want to say I do apologize. I did have a live schedule for yesterday, but I'm going to be honest. Y'all know I love y'all. I took a nap. Yes, I have to really break myself out of these afternoon naps, but I really think this nap was warranted, and I had to do a lot of praying yesterday as well. And when I take a nap, I get up and I pray before and after, and that's what I did. So I do apologize, guys. But today we're going to hit 2 things. The first thing we're going to talk about is the documentary that came out the other night. We're just going to hit a few clips, and then we're going to get into an update with related to Miss Jordan, Miss Casundra Jordan, who was contested 2 weeks ago, and she had her hearing yesterday. So let's just start first with, I want to say blessings to Miss Regina. Miss Regina, I don't want to say her last name wrong, but if you don't know who she is, we're going to do a quick flashback. Miss Regina is from Chicago NBC News, and she and a few of her other co-workers has been following what has been going on in Dolton extensively. Okay, even the other gentleman that I watch, he does his segments on it, and it's just amazing. And they keep up, non-biasly. And I'm going to say that they are doing a great job alongside of the Chicago Tribune, the Lansing, all the mainstream newspapers who have been doing their thing, because this lady not only keeping her eyes on Thornton and what's happening in Dolton. When you see what we watched, because they had a update, they did like an unpacking of the documentary, and she said some key things. She's really, really wrapped into this. She said she even dreamed Dolton, and I'm like, yo, she got to be wrapped in like us. We wake up and go to sleep on Dolton, and that's gonna be that's honest. But if you remember this gentleman on the screen, and I'm being nice, okay, he subliminally was getting at a news broadcaster. So if you did not know who this news broadcaster is, it was Miss Regina, because she was the only mainstream news broadcaster in this particular fake interview. You know what I'm saying? They press conference. So let's just watch this to remember what Kamal was said to her. And then we flash into just a little bit of what she says about the documentary, about Thornton. And, you know, and I really think that's our clap back. So let's just listen to this fool real quick.
You part of the problem. You gonna tell the truth, tell the truth. It ain't no guy, it's a lady. You part of the problem.
A spokesperson for Senator Harris told NBC5 in a statement, in part, it's unfortunate that the supervisor's team has chosen to spread false narratives. The focus should remain on addressing the critical issues that truly matter to the community.
We cannot let this go. I am suing Napoleon Harris. I am suing the caucus.
The Zenith diaspora.
All right, we're going to take that off because we're going to be getting to that update in a little while. But if you remember, that was the interview where Miss Regina was, you know, talked to harshly, talked to like, you know, she was doing something wrong for reporting on our Thug of the Year, Kamal Woods. Okay, so let's get to the documentary in a few key parts that I want to highlight. And why I'm going to highlight that is because I say God is good all the time. The underdog will be recognized. I do consider myself the underdog of this content creating network. And I never really wanted to be called a content creator because, you know, I'm definitely different and I just do what I do. But I'm grateful for this platform, YouTube, and I'm grateful for the acknowledgement from Miss Regina about the significant impact that we have been making and highlighting that we have been, as YouTube content creators, keeping the public a bay of what's going on. So I want to continue to do that. And I'm just grateful for her actually having clips of me inside of the documentary. Now, I want to say thank you because I didn't even know that none of that was happening. So I say that this is God, because not only was it a picture of me, but it was also clippings of Miss Cara as well. So we're going to show y'all that where Miss Cara was inside of the documentary. And this was me. If y'all don't know, that's me, the old lady back there. So it was so funny because when I went down, just to give y'all a little background of how this happened, when I went down to Alexis Butterfly release, I did meet the trustees. I did meet Miss Belcher and Miss Brown, I think, if that's her name. Yes. So at that time, we had our encounter. I think I explained it to you guys. And Miss Belcher was like, are you coming to the 2025 Clean House 2025 release or opening? And I'm like, well, I didn't come down here for that. I really came down here to wholeheartedly support Miss Cara and her situation. But I'm like, hey, I'll go, So I tried to keep myself on the side because honestly, like if y'all didn't understand, this was my perspective. I was an outsider. I came there truly that time for Miss Cara because we had built a connection after the interview. So I stayed on the side while everybody was over there in the audience, doing their thing. And that right there, if y'all can see, it's a cross. That cross over Mr. Roberts and Mrs. Roberts' head has grace on it. And I just noticed that. And I was like, wow, that has to be God. So me and Mr. Roberts never really had conversations or anything before this, but I think we had a small encounter and they came over to the side. I introduced myself to Miss Roberts and Mr. Roberts, and they kind of went back into the crowd. I was surprised. This was a moment in time. I promise you. It was not my intent to even be on anybody's video or anything. So the next one that they captured was me talking to, and I don't kick my butt, the doctor who owns the Fresh Mart. Don't kick my butt if I don't know her name. I'm so sorry. And honestly, when I went around, I was just introducing myself to people. I explained to you guys that when I met House, he seemed honestly like the most open and receptive to me out of the whole crew. That's just being honest. And when I talked to her as well, we were just having conversations, and it wasn't about content. It was just saying, hey, I'm here. I make content about you guys. You know, I do it. I try to look at it from another perspective of all the lawsuits and just letting them know who I was and that I wasn't coming to be like a troll or anything. And it was just that. And they end up capturing that. And I don't know how. That's why I say it's God who put me on this, because I can't explain to you guys. I only can be passionate about things that I resonate with. And I resonate with Dolton and Thornton, and I do consider myself an online resident. And that's why I'm so adamant about what I do. So this right here, look at me looking like an old lady, showed me that God put me here for a reason. Okay. Two things that were highlighted in the documentary was not only, a lot of things was highlighted, very important. But what was highlighted that was very important, and the things that was unseen in this fight and kept being pushed under the rug, was one, Fania situation, as well as Miss Carver's situation. Now, I know Miss Carver wasn't named in the documentary, but just for her image to be there and then make a reference towards her situation and then have clips of me in there. And I don't know Regina. I never talked to her. I don't know her. I say that this is God. And I really do. And I pray that you guys continue to support this platform right here, because our goal is to help Miss Carver get as much justice as possible, as well as help the Dolton residents and any other residents that are tainted by the things that stem from Dolton. In my case, it was, you know, the police brutality. And in Fania's case, it was the elected official brutality. So let's just watch this real quick, because I got to give a shout out to one of my favorite women, Miss Carver, as well as my third daughter. Okay, let's get it.
Comment is she'll just put her head down and she won't listen to anything. She won't acknowledge anything. You know, I've seen mothers of murdered children and people who've lost family members in Dolton. She'll put her head down and she will not even acknowledge that the person is there because she doesn't like what they're saying.
So after a few months of this, you have residents, you have trustees, you even have the village clerk. They are raising red flags, but now they want to take action.
I'm an attorney, long time.
How many years?
I'm in my 52nd year.
What's your involvement with Dolton?
We
have to listen to her speeches and all of that good stuff. So what
water people had floods in their basements, coming in their backyard, into their house. You've done nothing. You don't care about nobody but yourself.
They are raising red flags, but now they want to take action.
I'm an It was both. It was resident.
Hold on. I thought I had the clip up for my baby, Miss Carver, real quick. I have it downloaded, but I couldn't send it to me. I've been having issues. So I know it's over here where they talk about her putting her head down, and then I wrote it down. So let's just give me 1 second. I don't know. Oh, look at her looking all ugly.
Put her head down and she won't listen to anything. She won't acknowledge anything. You know, I've seen.
That's what it was right here. I did all of that just to get this clip, just to get this picture of my sister. She is still suffering. She's still fighting through this every day. So I want to say thank you to Miss Regina for catching these significant clips, because I don't know how she did it, why she did it. But honestly, like I said, I didn't know she was doing this. I didn't give her any rights to use my image. I didn't sign anything. I didn't know nothing about it. So she chose to put this up, and it's very important. So this is part of the fight, y'all. And I just want to say love and blessings to her and just highlight that, because we are the underdogs over here. The Levi family, you know, they have tried to discredit us. I'm saying us because you part of here. You here, you love me. They have tried to discredit me, blackball me. They have stopped people from coming on my platform in the background. They have sent people to pretend that they were my friend, to pretend they had my best interest in mind. This has been a really hard fight, a really hard situation to be in, to be a YouTube content creator. So I'm grateful that she gave us that respect. And it also makes me see what they go through as well, because I do want to highlight as we go into our next subject, that we are all different content creators and may have different agendas, and we all honestly, I think our agenda should be focused on the people. But before I get to that, we're just going to watch this quick segment of Regina unpacks Dolton Tiffany Henyard drama. Okay, she did this with her co-workers the other day, yesterday, I would assume. And I love to hear her talk about it. I love to hear her passion. And I think that's one of the things that make you guys like me. Even if y'all can't receive some of the things I say, or I say things funny, y'all see my passion for Dolton and Thornton. And I think that's what she has as well.
Well, she's one of the most recognizable faces that's been on the news lately. I'm talking about the mayor of Dolton, Tiffany Henyard.
And all of social media.
Yes,
She's everywhere. Our very own Regina Waldroup has been following all the drama as it unfolds. And she's here with us to talk about a new documentary called Super Mayor, The Cost of Chaos in Dolton. Welcome, Regina. You've been in those streets reporting on this.
So much so that I even dream about this story.
Oh my God.
I am embedded in this community.
Is it a dream or a nightmare?
It's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Wow.
Let's talk about the title of this because it's called Super Mayor. And that is what Tiffany Henyard calls herself?
Tiffany Henyard started calling herself Super Mayor a few years ago. She is Township Supervisor of Thornton Township. She's also the mayor of Dolton. Put them together, Super Mayor. And so 2 years ago, she started calling herself that, Super Mayor.
Wow. Where did this all start? Start at the very beginning.
Why is she why is she on our TV screen so much?
Because she's accused of misusing taxpayer dollars. In the village of Dolton, not really a wealthy community. It's 90% African American. And a lot of money has been misused or alleged to have been misused by Tiffany Henyard. Signage is everywhere in this community. You won't see a lot of stores. You see a lot of boarded up buildings, but you also see a lot of billboards with her image. She even had a company put up these welcome signs with her picture on them and the title Super Mayor. Cost $12,000. This vendor has not been paid.
Wow.
Also, there have been credit cards, 6 credit cards in this community, used by someone to purchase things on Amazon, $40,000 in one day.
Wow. And she has a stylist who she's called.
I bet you that $40,000 went through them bingo prizes. Y'all remember all those bingo prizes? Washers, dryers, George Foreman grills. Let's just speed up just a little bit to get through this because it's a 5-minute video, and I'm going to put the link at the bottom because I actually want to get to the subject matter as well that I want to make an announcement on this morning.
It's not just Chicago.
It's funny you should mention that. I was in Alabama over the summer for a graduation, and I'm walking down, to find a seat. And somebody said, "Hey, I love your coverage of Dolton." I get emails from people all over. Yes, it is a big issue, and she puts herself out there like that because I think she loves the attention. Here's the problem with this story, though. The people in this community, they are losing. They're the ones losing. This is not a well-to-do community. They can't afford any mismanagement of funds. This is not Chicago. And so
we can't afford it either.
Yeah, I'm about to say Chicago can't afford it either.
Right. Well,
don't mismanage my funds.
Right. A town wants attention, but not this kind of attention.
Well, I need to know, what are these meetings like? Because you are always there.
Well, the boyfriend came for you. Her boyfriend came for you. What did that feel like?
Well, keep in mind, I was invited to this meeting on Saturday. Went to this meeting. I was the only reporter there, and her boyfriend started to attack me personally.
Verbally.
Right. And I stood there and I accepted everything he said, directed at me and at the media, because I'm doing a job. There's a reporter. I'm covering the issues, covering what's happening. I've not made anything up. What we know is there's a federal investigation going on. That's a fact. That's a fact. There were 3 subpoenas served asking for a slew of records, financial records related to Tiffany Henyard and her boyfriend. I am just covering what is going on. So I'm very transparent in what I've been doing and trying to get some answers for the community.
Regina, what will we learn in this documentary?
All right, we're going to stop right here. I'm going to let you guys watch this fully on their channel. I will put the link in the chat as well as I'm going to put it right in the description when I get off. Y'all got to wait till tomorrow. Heads up, the video that I did do with the receipts, every video that I did do with receipts about the election and everything, All of the links are at the bottom. Go look at them. Y'all can check them out yourself. But you heard what she said. She sleeps and wake up and think about Dolton, as well as that was her beautiful clap back to, they call him Leotis, his old bucket head, to his, you know, what I call it. I don't know what it was, but it was just unnecessary and ridiculous. So like she said, she's putting out what is out there, which is the facts. And that's what we're going to keep doing on YouTube, on these YouTube streets, okay, with a little bit of, because we got a little bit more freedom than she does. So that's probably why she be watching the YouTube, is probably cracking up like, look at that shit. I think I'm gonna be a YouTuber, get my freedom back. Anyway, shout out to Regina. She's amazing. Thank you, God. Her and WNGN. That's the other gentleman, the gentleman on WNGN that is keeping up on the case as well, too. So all his series is like documentaries. And like I said, this is going to go down in history, but it's really about the residents coming out successful in this. It's not about these candidates, about who they're with, all this stuff. It's about you coming out successful with a one understanding of what's going on in your community, how to combat it, how you're going to create your own programs and do your own thing outside of depending on these individuals, because all Tiffany's been doing is just putting tokenism in front of her residents and just thinking that that was going to be the way that's going to get her to continue to be in that seat. And, you know, our goal is for her to unass that seat. So while that is going on, I have to give you guys an update on a mayor candidate. Miss Casundra Jordan, Madam Casundra Jordan. That's what I call her. The reason why, because the little interaction that I did have with Miss Jordan, I do feel like she has the right to be called Madam. She does act in a way that I believe that she has respect for herself and that she is an elder to me, you know. So I give respect where respect due. You know, I say what I want when I want to, but you gotta just give them respect. So with that goes to say, Miss Madam Jordan was contested. Okay. And I'm going to talk about contesting going on in Dolton and Thornton, and kind of like my perspective. I didn't get to see the video of Feld's contest because it was supposed to be doing, I knew that would have been good. I wish I could have saw it. I hope somebody went live yesterday at the Thornton Township election part, because I wanted to see what Nate Feld said. I kind of went to the left, but I was just thinking about like, damn, I wish I would have saw what he said. I want to know how it happened. So I'll keep y'all posted. But until then, this is just what has happened. So allies of Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard object to several candidates on the ballot. So this was related to Thornton Township, and you know, Nate Fields was they said Nate Fields was contested. I gotta say this. Okay, Nate Fields, I'm gonna say this before I get to anything, y'all. I gotta say something to the candidates. I love you guys, all of you guys. It does not matter. You have a dream, you have a goal. Let me put myself on the screen. You have a dream, you have a goal, but the overall goal is to be honorable to the residents. I want you guys to be mindful of your interactions, just like I had to tell you, I had to be mindful of my interactions because I didn't know who was with me or against me, because these politics is pretty bad. So with that goes to say, I do believe that one of the people who contested Nate Feld was actually close to Clean House 2025, and that's my allegations. I had some part of my linkage in investigation. That's what I have found. Now, I'm not mad because that's what Tiffany's side did. But I want you guys to be aware that the streets are dirty. The streets are dirty, allegedly, and everybody just need to be aware. I pray that each candidate, even House, Felds, Jordan, excluding Henyard, everybody who's running, that y'all have adequate support around you guys, and that, you know, y'all have a successful campaign. I just have to throw that out there, because when I was looking at Nate Felds being contested, I was like, who is these people? And I started tracking who was who. And I'm like, we know Tiffany saw her goons just gunning. But who is this person? Now, I'm not going to say her name. I don't have to do that. But I just want you to be aware. So I do call again. I don't know who's doing it, but please support Nate Felds, okay? He's a young man. You know, this is his first time. And I just think that it'd be better if you guys do that. So I just had to throw that out there. I know that's a little messy. Y'all know Gracelevi gonna tell the truth. Just kind of throw it out there. It's real is real. Yeah. So let's just get to this real quick. I think we're gonna play this little 1-minute clip, and then we're gonna get to the update of what happened to Miss Casundra.
Politics were on full display here today at Thornton Township as allies of Supervisor Tiffany Henyard objected to several candidates appearing on the April 1st general election ballot. Henyard says today was another step in a fair democratic process.
I think politics will always be on display as it relates to government because people play politics with the residents' minds and with their money.
The political fight continues in Thornton Township today as the Electoral Board sifted through objections to several candidates appearing on the April 1st ballot. Many of those objections brought forward by allies of Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, but she says she did not direct anyone to file those objections.
I don't have anyone challenging anyone. Everybody is have their opinion to challenge whoever they like, and everybody gets the opportunity to due process.
And I'm going to stop right there. We don't need to see her little funky face so early in the morning. Let's remove her off the screen. Like she said, oh, I'm not sending anybody, but you sent this fool. Let's put this up here. I want to give a shout out to Burgundy Blue. Burgundy Blue was I think the only content creator that went down there yesterday, and I did give her a shout out under her comments. I wasn't able to watch the whole thing, but I was able to review it. Excuse me. Most recently, excuse me, y'all. I just want to pull it up. So I want to send a shout out to her. I'm going to try to put her link at the bottom, but I think y'all know Burgundy Blue. Y'all know she's a resident. She's been there. Everybody don't agree with everybody's stance. It is what it is, but we are here for the people and to put out the right information. So she was there at the hearing. So I will put her link at the bottom because if I'm putting all the rest of them, I'll put them there because I know she's funny about that. She's like, put the link. I'll put the link. I appreciate you. Thank you. You're amazing. The sound was a little low, and I think because they wasn't talking on the mic, but just like what happened is this. They started the meeting, and this gentleman right here, DeMarcus, he was the person who contested Miss Jordan, which is the guy from the Water and Works company. So just like he challenged Nate Field and a few other people in Dolton, allegedly Tiffany did not send her goons, but it looked like it. I believe that she tried to give him the most easiest cases to represent, possibly because he ain't that smart. But because these people are so crooked, and I'm just going to say it on both sides because y'all already know what I explained to you guys. There's no rule to say that any candidate has to have a full slate. Everybody tried to pull that. Tiffany tried to pull the bull BS on Miss Jordan, and then Napoleon tried to pull that on her. And that's what we showed you on our last live. That is against the law. So this wasn't even going to stand regardless. So what ended up happening, just to sum this up, because it was really short, and then we're going to get to the end to hear what they have to say, Ms. Casundra has to say, and also Mr. Dinesh, the one that's running for trustee, what he has to say. Basically, what ended up happening is that he rescinded his contestant. He took it back. He just said, give it to me. Yeah, because one, the lawyer didn't show up. His lawyer didn't show up. Tiffany's lawyer didn't show up, whatever. And he didn't probably know what the hell to say because it is illegal what they are contesting. Okay. So I wanted to show you this. And then we're going to hold on one second. Let me put the news broadcast before we get to what Dinesh has to say and also what Miss Jordan had to say, because this was originally people calling Henyard a hypocrite. This page that I'm showing you is actually Miss Jordan's YouTube page. Now, what I will say, and I'm going to clarify this, I can't speak on the behalf of her, but getting to know the little bit that I got to know about her, she's not an internet person. And that's what I said from the beginning. So don't go over there criticizing her page about certain things. She's getting herself together. She got to focus on running for the election for mayor. So she does have a YouTube page where she's starting to bring some stuff up, and we're going to show that. But this was the video she uploaded when she first got contested.
Well, it's only Thursday, but Tiffany Henyard has had quite the week. Turmoil, yelling, and political maneuvering in both of her jobs. Tonight, some of her opponents are calling her a hypocrite. She's fighting to stay on one ballot while supporting her challengers getting thrown off another. CBS News Chicago's Jermont Terry is always investigating, and he's here now to break down exactly what's going on tonight.
Joe, there's a lot to unpack. Now, some are questioning if Henyard is crying foul for getting kicked off the township ballot, yet using the same, very similar method to get her running against those running against her for the ballot in Dolton off the ballot.
So we have to get this village back on track.
That's Casundra Hopson-Jordan, who's running to unseat Tiffany Henyard as Dolton's mayor. Hopson-Jordan and Denasha Harrison formed an independent party, but they hit a snag when someone filed this objection.
Be nice try, but yeah.
The petitioner is DeMarcus Grigley. He's an Henyard ally.
When you see her, you see him.
That's Grigley, an all-black standing behind Henyard today as she addressed the outcome of this week's township, where she did not get the Democratic nomination.
He only nominated himself and his slate, which was wrong.
Yet that's the exact reason the petition wants the Dolton Electoral Board to get Hopson-Jordan and Harrison, who's running for trustee, off the ballot because they did not file a complete slate.
Very hypocritical, being that we just dealt with the situation with the caucus.
What was filed against us is not about the people's voice being heard.
But who can forget on Tuesday, Henyard pleaded to the caucus chair to let her people speak.
Napoleon, how you saying not let the people be heard?
If you felt that that wasn't right and you felt that that was illegal, then how is it that it's okay
to do it to them?
To do it to the village?
And she's really desperate. She sees that everything is falling apart, and at this point is let me do whatever I can to try to hold on with to any one of these positions.
I think it's about democracy and hypocrisy. Their attorney points out the rules for township caucus and village municipalities are not the same. He references a 2017 federal court decision which sets the precedent: a new party does not require a full slate in villages.
Again, this has been decided. It was decided 7 years ago that you can't enforce this anymore.
Yet these two candidates are forced to fight the Dolton Electoral Board to stay on the ballot.
No, I think.
All right, hold on.
This slimy.
Now, the two independent candidates have a hearing for December 16th with the Electoral Board. Their attorney is confident that their names will stay on the April ballots. But remember, Henyard and trustee Jason House will square off first in the primary election in February of next year.
All right, so let's stop right here. I'm going to share the link to her page. But what we're going to show is the update now, because that's what happened yesterday. Okay. And this was just more monkey wrench to throw into people's mind, spirit, and their progress. This is what has been happening. It's just ridiculous. Dolton, Illinois mayor candidate will be on ballot despite attempts to block her.
A Dolton mayoral candidate will be on the general election ballot despite an attempt to block her candidacy by an ally of current Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who is running for re-election.
The objection dropped in a hearing today as we continue to track the drama and federal probe in the South Suburb. Our Tara Molina is at Village Hall.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard was not at the hearing here today. Neither was her attorney, and she was not made available for a comment. But we did hear from the woman who could be running against her in the upcoming mayoral election, thanks to what happened here. You're looking at video from the lively Democratic Party caucus for Thornton Township earlier this month.
It's the right way. Illegal.
You may remember this resulted in Tiffany Henyard being denied a place on the ballot for re-election as township supervisor, something she's fighting, calling it illegal. But a Henyard ally used nearly identical reasoning to try to get one of the candidates running against Henyard in the Dolton mayoral race off the ballot, Casundra Hopson-Jordan.
It's about democracy and it's about hypocrisy.
I really think it's very hypocritical.
But that objection dropped in Village Hall today by the petitioner, an ally of Mayor Henyard's, to much less fanfare. Mayor Henyard not present.
I wasn't surprised.
Hopson-Jordan now officially representing the Rebuilding Dolton Party. And this decision means you will be on the ballot in April.
And yes, it does. And may the best person win.
Hopson-Jordan will be on the general election ballot here.
I am in this race. It's about the people. It's not about me,
but it's about the people.
She will be up against whoever wins the Democratic nominee, current Mayor Henyard or current Dolton Village trustee Jason House. We've told you Mayor Henyard is currently under federal investigation and embroiled in several ongoing scandals for allegedly embezzling money and targeting political opponents. Her office was investigated by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, revealing the village's general fund had a negative balance of $3.65 million.
Let's start right here because I looked right at Miss Lightfoot face and like, oh, where we getting the second report? So just remember, guys, allegedly there's supposed to be another report coming out. I don't know when, but hopefully it's tonight. You know, tonight Thornton has a meeting. We're going to be live tonight for that as well. I will be live a little bit earlier because I do have some information to share with you. And still, I just didn't want to compact all of this and that together. Okay, so we hopefully, blood of Jesus, we'll get an updated report. And I don't know. And hopefully that report will warrant actual charges and not just an investigation to seek paperwork. If I had that sound effect, shots fired, that would have came up. Y'all know me. Come on. It is what it is. Okay, so I have someone in the audience that has stated, let's see the Republican caucus. Okay. And well, I pulled it up. Okay, I did. And I promised you guys that we was going to look at it together. And let me see this. Hold on. Let me make sure. It's like 11-minute clip. Thank you, Jesus. Only 11-minute clip. So we're going to watch that full clip together. The Lansing Journal did. I'm going to keep my promise. So shout out to, I did see it. Miss Daniels. It says, you know, we should watch the election Republicans. So I think that's what you were talking about. And I think you brought that up to me before. So we're going to do that this morning as well. Okay. The reason why I did not shout out to Clean House 2025, I did not put that on the screen because I want to give respect to Mrs. Jordan. So shout out to Clean House 2025. You'll have your moment on my platform with, you know, with my evaluation, you know what it is. So let's move forward. So also before, I just want to get to your questions because we're going to just show a little brief commercial real quick. It did. Yes, we did address this, the misfiling of Henyard's petition, adding a plaintiff that had nothing to do with it or did not want to have anything to do with it. We did address that on the last live. And I did not hear definitive information of her refiling right this second. But you know, hard head, bucket head, ain't giving up. Even when it's wrong, she gonna keep on. Ooh, I scared y'all this morning. Scary. Okay, so before we move on and watch no matter of fact, let's do that. I'll save that last little commercial for the end. Okay, so before we move on, we're gonna move on right now. We're gonna watch the Thornton Township Republican had a caucus too. All right, let's see how many. They had 24,000 views. That was good. People watched it. So let's watch this 11-minute video, and we're gonna see what was supposed to happen. Yup. Honestly, this was what's supposed to happen. I watched a little bit and I just stopped. Let's watch it again. Let's watch it together. All right. And this is what's supposed to happen. And they had nobody. I mean, nobody in the room, nobody, but they did it right. And they told you it was black people.
Publisher of the Lansing Journal, and it has been quite a night here in Thornton Township. And I don't have a lot to show for it. So let me tell you what happened. I was covering the Republican Thornton Township caucus, which was scheduled to start at 6 p.m. And Carol Shawarko and Paul Chepkovich were also Lansing Journal reporters. They were already in place at the Democratic caucus, happening in two different locations at two different times. That was scheduled to start at 7. Mine was at 6. So the plan was that they would be in position. We did not think that the Republican caucus would last very long. So I could shoot video there and get that story and then join them over in Homewood at the Democratic caucus. Well, of course, the Republican caucus went longer than anticipated. So I was there for about an hour and then texted Paul and Carol to let them know that I was heading over to the Democratic caucus. things were crazy over at the Democratic caucus, and traffic was stopped all over Homewood, and it was difficult to find a place to park. And by the time I got into the hall where things were being held, the Democratic caucus was over. It lasted about 7 minutes. That's what I heard from people I talked to afterward. So we have no video of the Thornton Township Democratic caucus, but we will have a story. So just an interesting night. A lot of interesting conversations afterward. So the video you're about to see does not capture any of that drama. It captures what happened at the Republican caucus, which was much smaller and much tamer, but also interesting. So I hope you'll watch and learn what Republicans we do have Republicans here in Illinois, here in Cook County. So I hope you'll watch them and listen to them. And it should be an interesting, looking ahead to the actual election. This was just the caucuses. Looking ahead to the April elections, April 2025. Things will be interesting. There's a lot going on. So thank you for watching. And yeah, that's it's been an interesting night.
All right, everybody, if you'd like to find a seat, we would like to get started. I'm not saying nothing. How you doing, everybody? I'm the Thornton Township REPUBLICANS. I'd like to call this meeting officially to order. If you would please rise and face the flag and join me for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first order of business is for us to elect a secretary.
Yep, I was just about to say that. First call of business to elect the secretary. Second call of business is to bring her up by the chairman and then talk about the rules. So let's just watch.
The secretary of caucus tonight, my name is Jalen Winston. Do I have a, let's do it this way. Everybody in favor of Mr. Winston being the caucus secretary, signify by saying aye. Aye.
He let them vote. Let's keep listening. This is making my day.
All those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, Jalen, you're officially the caucus secretary. Thank you very much. Second item of business is to approve our procedures, which you have all been handed this little sheet. Now you look into the door.
This is the rules. Now, I'm being petty. Replace him with Napoleon. Napoleon is supposed to be doing this, so just imagine Napoleon right there. I'm gonna stop and just let this finish, okay?
I would entertain somebody to make a motion to approve the caucus procedures. Support. Second. All in favor of approving the caucus procedures, signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right.
Okay, let me just stop. What are you talking about finding good? It's easy to see the process without yelling at somebody. What? Tiffany was yelling. I'm yelling. Speaking whole. You can't see when it's loud. What you got going on, sir? I'm gonna get to these comments. I'm highlighting the best comments, and we're gonna get to it. Just know I'm noting all the comments. I just had to stop because I want you guys to speak in full sentences and give me a good description of what y'all talking about, so we could talk about it, appropriately. Because sometimes it be half of sentences, and I don't want to interpret it wrong. So just to let you know, I'm highlighting the best comments, and we're gonna go over it, okay? And I'm gonna address some of the things that you guys are saying in the comments, okay? So let's just watch this.
I would prefer to nominate by slate. Is there anybody who would prefer to nominate individually? One person, okay. We will take a voice vote on that then.
That's illegal right there. They did something illegal too. They put in their rules as well to nominate a slate. But I guess they people don't feel away because one person said, I don't agree. Listen, okay, so that was part of the rules and procedures. They're giving the people a chance to vote. And one person said, I don't like that.
I would entertain a motion to approve the nomination by slate. Need a motion.
I move we do the nomination for slate.
Okay, second.
Second motion.
All those in favor of nominating candidates by slate, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay. Now we will nominate candidates. Is somebody?
According to the state law, what we showed you, this is not legal. But if nobody contesting it here and they just going with the flow, the Democrats could contest this. They can contest this. They can't.
Going to nominate the slate candidates.
Okay. Oh, okay. Y'all have to remember that it's not only Democrats against Democrats, like Tiffany against them, Independent Miss Jordan against them. Y'all have Republicans that's sitting in the background watching us act like fools. So, Gracelevi, thank you to our Levi family for reminding us to watch this. Let's see what the others are doing that we're not paying attention to. So they cheated a little bit.
So for the Thornton Township Republican Party, for supervisor, nominate Richard Nolan. For trustees, nominate David Barnes, Kesha Richardson, Jeffrey Coleman, Carl Dombrowski, and for highway commissioner, Tim Dion.
Okay. The nominations are still open. Are there any other nominations for slate? Hearing none, we'll close the nomination.
And that knocked people out. Because if people come in and don't have a slate on the Republican side, they can't be a nominee. So they had their picks of who was going. And that was the list. Did y'all hear them talk about a clerk? Let's just listen one more time. Did they have a clerk too? Let's just listen one more time. I'm going to shut up.
For supervisor, nominate Richard Nolan. For trustees, nominate David Barnes, Kesha Richardson, Jeffrey Coleman, Carl Dombrowski, and for highway commissioner, Tim Dion.
I don't know. They don't look like they had a clerk on their list.
Okay. The nominations are still open. Are there any other nominations for slate? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations.
I don't like this. That's not fair, y'all. I don't like this slate thing.
We should vote on how we're going to vote for the nominations. It's kind of slow. Do we want to vote by voice vote, or do we want to vote by paper vote? Voice. Well, here's some voices, so let's take a vote on.
So there, he even asked them, do you want to vote by paper vote or by voice vote? Now that the nominees is there, the people have to approve the nominees. Okay? At least this was 11 minutes worth of video. Let's listen.
Let's make a motion. Motion to approve voting by voice. We need a motion.
Motion to approve voting by voice.
Okay, second. Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, we will vote on candidates by voice vote. All in favor of nominating the said candidates for the said positions, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Candidates have been officially nominated. The results of the nominations are as follows. For Township Supervisor, Richard Nolan is nominated. Township. Okay. Right, we can do this. Okay, we're gonna do another round. I have to close on these. Hang on, next.
Do you want to see how much money you're eligible for?
Hold on.
If you were in a
I put that comment on the screen because she is 100% right. Let's listen. I'm going to go back. You wanted her favorite comments tonight, this morning.
All right.
Great.
Back to what I was saying.
What are you talking about? Where is Max? What are you talking about? Max the lawyer? Who is Max? Tell me who Max is, okay?
Candidate nominations have been approved for Township Supervisor Richard Nolan, for Township Trustee Keisha Richardson, David Barnes, Jeffrey Coleman, and Carl Dombrowski, and for Highway Commissioner Tim Dion. That is our results. That is our caucus for the evening. Motion to adjourn. Adjourn. Second.
Easy peasy, pumpkin breezy. That was, listen, thank you for reminding me to play this. That was the caucus. That was the Republican caucus. That was how the procedures were supposed to go. I have no contest in relation to the procedures. What I do have a contest on is the fact that they made a full slate. They knocked other people who wanted to be Republican candidates or nominees out. So they cheated too. They cheated their own people too, but nobody's contesting it. I guess they may not have more people like the Democrats who wanted to run, because if there was someone who was there and didn't have a full slate, I would assume that they would have contested as well. Okay, so this was the Republican caucus. This is proof even more of how the procedures were supposed to go. He let the people, one, vote on the secretary. That was the first thing. Two, told them the procedures, let them vote on the procedures, even if and added and highlight that the slate was there, because I guess he knew that that's wrong, but he still highlighted because that's out of norm procedures. Okay. And at one point, one of the people was like, I don't agree. But then we got to the end and made the vote. They agreed. Okay. They all agreed for the slate, even though, like I said, I don't agree. Then he moved forward to nominate the slate. And then he said, okay, those are the slate that they had. Is there any other nominations? Everybody got quiet. And then guess what? Meeting closed. So that was what's supposed to be done. That was the example that we were supposed to see happen with the Democrats. And that's why I said what I said. Now, before we get to just the last part of this live, which we're going to get into what Dinesh said at the end of the meeting that was captured by Burgundy Blue, and what Madam Jordan said. Yes, because I want to put a tone of respect out there for people, because I think, as I mentioned, people are so belligerent and being disrespectful and just saying anything and doing anything from the Trump era. And now we got the Tiffany era coming in where people cursing her out, calling all types of stuff. I have told you, I have called that lady to be named so many times that I had to repent and say, girl, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. So with that goes to say, like I said, where respect due is where respect is giving. And that's why I call her Madam. Okay. It is what it is. Now, shout out to Valerie. We're going to get to a few of the comments and our favorite comments before we get to the end of this segment. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button. We will be back tonight for Thornton's meeting as well. This was a very amazing comment. Thank you, Shadow Seeker. If Tiffany had switched to independent, she wouldn't have had a full slate, but she would have had to switch 1 year prior. Now, we already clarified the full slate thing. It's just illegal. But that's what I wanted to clarify and get the law behind too, because it was saying that if you were to switch to independent, you already had to be like that, as you say, a year prior. I didn't know the timeline, but I knew she can't just say, oh, I'm independent now, when you walked up in that caucus thinking you was about to be a Democrat. So that's why I said she's not going to be able to go independent, but if people write her in, she will be a write-in candidate. All right. You're welcome, Ms. Daniels. Thank you for reminding me. You are amazing. Welcome, Javar. Yes, that was the Republican caucus. We just wanted to just show as an example what was supposed to happen. This was from JC. When you all get a chance, Keith Price verbally attacked Vivian Allen for retaliation from the documentary on her community section page. So, I mean, this is what I'm saying to that. Facebook and everything is very messy, and they do these verbal attacks and everything like that. When people like us do get attacked, it do bother us. I told you Saturday it really bothered me, and I wasn't going to be coming out all acting crazy. If y'all feel like that's important to go over there and support Vivian, I do think that will be good if it's done in a tactful manner. You know what I'm saying? And just set the tone. Like, this is going to be acceptable. The residents will no longer accept it. Remember, Mr. Alderman or whoever you want to be, that we're going to vote your out too. So keep on attacking people and think that your bullying is going to work. And who they talking about? Yes, stick it in the snicker cake, Keith Price. And that's one of the things why I don't do interviews here, because I'm going to name all these people. They might have nothing to do with me. I got a name for everybody. They like, no. We're not interviewing with her. I don't care. I'm just going to say what I need to say. And if you want to send me a statement, I'll read it and give you respect. But they talking about this man still coming out, disrespecting people. Ms. Vivian Allen is a resident of Dolton. She has been an active fighter out there. She was the person who put out the petition for Alexis and got 1,000 signatures. So I have to give her a shout out for that. For initiating the idea. That was great. She is a fighter. She did admit that she was supporting Tiffany. They believed in her, you know, but Tiffany tricked everybody, you know. So with that goes to say, I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't send people to be trolls or anything. I just think that's very unbecoming. But everybody needs support. So do what you do. Get on Keith Price, because he is not going to be bullying people. That's what Tiffany got, a bunch of bullies around her. You saw her man toy disrespect Regina, and then you have him. That's why I'm saying I'm not used to these type of men who are so like against women. I'm telling you, even though I'm Haitian, y'all think that we rough. If y'all listen to my last broadcast, when I called my uncle dad, he called me princess. He loved, we deal with each other with respect. You see what I'm saying? I'm not, and even when he mad and I'm going off and he just be like, "You done?" And I'm like, "Yes." So I don't appreciate men dishonoring women and disrespecting them. That's why I have a bad tone for that. You're welcome. I appreciate your support as well as watching. Thank you. It's early in the morning too. It's like 9 o'clock out there, y'all. Don't worry. We wake up on Dolton. Don't worry. I've been texting since 5 o'clock this morning about Dolton. I don't even live out there. Okay, this is what I want to highlight. A good judge is going to ask why the other petitioner isn't on a dismissal request. Now, that has nothing to do with one petitioner. Just because I went in the store and got injured and then 5 other people got injured, we don't have to be all on the same claim unless it's a class action lawsuit. So they can move forward with their own petition. I definitely don't think that they would want to be on a petition with Henyard, their opponent. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense. So they all have to bring their own petition, I would assume. But we did talk about the grounds for that, and we are showing you what he did wrong. If they do a do-over, I don't know the significance of it because she's not going to win. But to be honorable to the residents and allow the process to go through, that's probably what I want to see. I'm petty like that. But she ain't going to win. She ain't going to win. Thornton caucus, village primary, different rules apply for slate. Yeah, but there's state and federal state rules that apply for everything, and you can't do it no more. We went over the state rules. I'm going to break that live up so y'all can watch it later on because I did 3 videos on the caucus and rules, and I'm over it, y'all. I did a lot of videos on the caucus rules, and I keep explaining the same thing to people, but I know y'all different. Just go check it out. It's easy to see the process without somebody yelling. Yes, it is. And they started yelling as soon as it started. They were yelling, and that's the audience. So you have to give the audience was the pre-caucus party people. I can't even blame the Thornton residents for that one. Okay? That was the pre-party people that was causing disturbance. It wasn't allowing y'all to hear shit because they already had their stuff planned. Napoleon was in there. They didn't want to hear shit. It was celebration. They had a pre-celebration. I'm petty. I'm sorry, y'all. If Tiffany had switched to independent, she wouldn't have had a full slate. So we did do that. So I appreciate your information because, as we said, I know she can't go into independent. And I was trying to get the law, just the way the wording was with the procedures of nominations. They were saying if you're already part of the Democratic Party, you have to run that next year. That's what I was thinking. So you're 100% right. So now what we're going to do is just get into the last portion where we're going to hear a little bit from other candidates. And shout out again to Burgundy Blue. She was there at the hearing yesterday at Ms. Casundra hearing where they were trying to pull her off the ballot. Okay, so this is the end part where I want you to listen to Dinesh and him talking. Where we at? 36 minutes, and then we're going to hear her talk, and then I'm going to give my commentary before that, because y'all know somebody was like, "Thank you, Mom." I'm the mama. I always have that mama spirit. That's why certain people don't do bad things around me or say it, because they be like, "Oh, Grace is gone." I don't even have to say nothing. They just know. You know you weren't supposed to be doing that in the club with that guy. My friends back in the day, they'll tell me stories like, "Girl," and I'm like, you know, so I am the mama. I can't help it. But let's watch this real quick.
Do you have anything to say to the people that want to show you support today?
You know what? I appreciate everybody coming to show up. For those of you who don't know, this was a hearing to ensure that the Rebuild Adult Party was on the ballot so that we can move forward and do some wonderful things for Dolton. So cases were actually withdrawn, which means that we'll be on the ballot. So I'm just looking forward to serving the people of Dolton.
Right. So what we will be the next podcast? We've been following along with your podcast on my channel.
Actually, you know what? Moving forward, the super producer and I will be having a conversation this week. I'm not sure when it will post. I believe it will be live on
Okay.
Thursday. I want to say maybe 6 o'clock. So if you follow the super producer, live on Thursday, I believe 6 o'clock, we'll be having a conversation about Dolton.
Okay. And what made you want to run for trustee?
Well, I live here. I moved here. I've been here almost 2 years, and I believe in the life of service. So as I've told people before, if you followed me before, I had the opportunity to serve my country in the United States Marine Corps for over 20 years. And the fact that I actually live here, that doesn't stop. So I'm all about service for the people. At the end of the day, no matter what you hear on the left or the right, it's always about the people of Dolton. I want to bring those type of examples, those type of ethos, as we call it, to the village that I live in.
And lastly, did you have any insight that they might have wanted to withdraw, or was that a surprise to you today?
No insight at all. We found out today as we were here at the table. Did not know that it was going to go that way. I'm very hopeful that the rule of law can continue to move forward, not only in this situation, but other situations moving forward. Whether it's during this process, February 25th, April 1st, moving forward. And no matter who wins the seat, the Rebuilding Dolton Party is going to continue to do what we need to do for the people of Dolton.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for being here in Dolton.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the opportunity. All right, take care.
Take care. So that's pretty awesome. So you got to hear a little bit in there. Something different. We'll see if Ms. Casundra.
Well, today was a victorious day. I'm a firm believer that when God has an assignment on your life, and when he calls you to do something, a lot of times we don't understand and know the details. And a lot of times he won't give us the details. He just said, I need a willing vessel. So when this thing hit my spirit, I said, God, this is something that I have to do. I don't know why I'm doing it, but it's been such an urgency because the need of the people. And I'm just a firm believer that God will not allow his people to continue to be messed over. And this village has suffered. That's going to take us to the next level. Now, as I explained to the young man leaving out, I know a couple of you all saw me hugging him and talking to him.
Like a
and
baby.
as I expressed to him, because I'm a mother first, and he's young enough to be my son. And as I stressed to him, always do the right thing, no matter what. Regardless of who you're working with, who you're working for, you have to always do the right thing.
Thank you.
And I just prayed for him and told him thank you, and know that he still lives here in the village. When I become mayor, my job is to work and produce for everyone. I don't believe in cliques. I don't believe in taking sides. I believe in being fair, and I believe in doing what's right for the people. And this is why I am in this race. It's about the people. It's not about me, but it's about the people. And this is what I want the other leaders to know and learn, that when you take on a position of servant, get your personal feelings out of the way.
Thank you.
Get the cliques out of the way. Take all that stuff away and
Thank
focus
you.
in on the people. Because when you take on these positions, it's about serving the people. And that is what I'm here for, to serve the people. And I just want us to all be at peace. Can we live in like one of those Walgreens commercial where everybody is just happy, holding hands, eating ice creams and skipping away the rainbows? I wish life could be like that. But my goal is to bring peace and calmness back into this village. Make it a place where kids can go to school, they can be comfortable. Make it a place where the elderly can come to the downtown area, sit and enjoy themselves, and that it's a community that we all love to live in. And we'll just, wake up every day and be proud about our community. This village has been through so much, and it's just been a shamble that this administration has just been split it apart and just been constantly fighting, and everybody has forgotten what the main goal is building this community. Now, I have great plans and things that I plan to do in this village, and I just hope the people see me, see my heart, see the commitment that I'm willing to do, I've never taken on anything that I wasn't willing to give it 110% of me. That's just that military girl in me. I understand discipline. I understand leadership. I understand chain of command. I understand teamwork. And that's what I plan to bring to this village and bring to this administration. We got to come together and work together as a people. Stop the fighting, stop the bickering, stop the finger pointing, and let's come together and work together as a team. As the famous word of Trump, and I know a lot of people going to try to knock my head off, as he would say, make America great again. Well, let's make Dolton great again. And this is a great community. And if I didn't believe in it, I would have been gone a long time ago. But I love my village. I love my neighbor. I love the people. And let's just make this a home sweet home.
If you could just look at us for this part.
Okay.
Can you?
All right, so we're gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna let y'all watch the rest of Burgundy Blues video. I did tell you to like and subscribe, and I do agree with you. Finding good, the chain is only as good as the weakest link. Uplift each other, as you see. Okay, so I think I have presented what I wanted to present this morning. I had some other things to say, but I think the Spirit just told me to not say it and just let God deal with it. As I mentioned to you guys earlier in this broadcast, this is something that I want to let you know. Being in this position on YouTube has been next to one of the hardest experiences next to nursing. But the abuse that I have taken is pretty similar to nursing. And there are a lot of things that's going on in the background that y'all may not understand. But what I will say, if you are wholehearted, if you are honest, and your goal is on the people, you're going to always persevere. The people who support me wholeheartedly, thank you. I know it's been hard to support me. I have one of my favorite residents that I've been shielding, so you guys, not you, but they won't attack her. You see, that's how bad it is. And I think it's to the point that God is bringing the right people together, the one that's who is wholehearted. And we're going to be pushing for Dolton. We're pushing hard for you, Dolton, I promise you. So just be mindful of who you associate with. Be mindful of people intent. And I will say that because a lot of people have taken this journey that y'all going through and are opportunists. And there's a lot. They have chose sides. They have bite back. They have manipulated. And I just want you guys to be safe. So that's to the residents. Be mindful. And to the candidates. Be mindful. You heard what I said about Nate. No one's going to contest that the lady who I'm talking about is some way, somehow a supporter of Clean House 2025. I'm not saying she's part of that group, but whatever it is, she found it in her best interest to go after Nate. So lastly, if and when I find what happens with Thornton Township yesterday, because Nate and all of those supervisors who were contested were supposed to be bringing their information in and, standing their ground. I'm kind of smiling because I'm really imagining in my head, Nate over there like, I pray he got a lawyer. I do believe that a few of the other candidates are going to be knocked out because of the numerous objections and the magnitude of the objection. One of the objections that is very, very, very important is that you're supposed to have your document of economic interest. It must be submitted. So they contested Nate, saying that Nate didn't submit it or they submitted late. And he was like, And then the other gentleman, I'm like, oh my God, we'll go over his name. He's just contested all over the place. They're saying that the signatures wasn't authenticated or authentic. He didn't put his financial statement in, as well as he had other people handing out the petition. So that's some of the things where they contest. So I really want to see that one. So once that is up, hopefully tomorrow, if I can find it, we'll go live and figure out who is going to be actually the candidates for Thornton. Okay. So, can I put this up there? Because when I do my video on the other candidates, if they have anything for me to show, I will show it until I find Miss Casundra's website, because I would assume she's going to have a mayoral website. And once we find it, we're going to present it to you. But until then, I want you guys to watch her commercial on her page. Let's go.
Stop researching with ChatGPT.
Imagine if my small business blew up overnight and I woke up to some sales. Boost this video so people who like my products can find me.
Algorithm. Where you at, bitch? Because I'm tired of posting viral content and getting 2.5 likes. We finna fight, ho.